live. We're live on the live. We are live on the live. So what's funny about that is that I literally sent that GIF to Lola like maybe an hour ago.
I channel the spirits of Stevie J.
Don't. You can leave his spirits wherever they at.
We love Stevie J, right?
Who?
We stand Stevie J.
Who?
Stevie.
So we are live with episode 3 of
This Man Will's amazing podcast. The winning podcast.
Thank you.
For Will and Nate, because the best always has to see. You know?
We have to do this every episode.
I hope y'all are well.
They are well.
What did you say? For me to blink twice if I need assistance?
Nobody said that. Anyway, so for this wonderful episode 3, we are going to do 21 questions. 21.
Was that supposed to be in sync?
21. No.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Did you?
No. Is that yours?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm just nice like that. See, she thought she was going to surprise me with these questions.
You got slick.
Already got them.
Whatever. So who's going first?
You go first. You sure these are the same questions? Let me see the first one. Yeah, these are the same questions.
You go first.
Read it?
Yeah.
What's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
So, let me tell y'all about not sleeping with your cell phones near your head.
Any dream that doesn't involve me is the weirdest dream she's ever had.
Anyway, do not sleep with your cell phones anywhere near your head. So, I forgot why I ended up doing it for maybe like 3 days. I don't know if I just fell asleep with my phone or whatever the case may be.
Y'all should answer this too.
But the last straw was the last day. And I'm the kind of person where I can feel a little bit in my dreams. I was pulling full knives out of my thigh. Exactly. And it wasn't like bleeding or anything, but it was like as if I could pull the knives.
We want to move on?
And it was like a set.
I don't even want to hear the rest of it.
And I was like, and I could feel it for like 3 or 4 days afterwards.
Okay, can we move on?
So yeah.
That was grotesque.
See? She said, true. Don't sleep next, and put some shungite to get rid of them EMF waves, and put some amethyst under your pillow. Do something.
And wear a foil hat.
Shut up.
She's dreaming about being stabbed up in her thighs.
Yo. See? They know.
Yo, if I wasn't so blind and I could read your actual name.
It says, I am Marzar.
I was going to say I'd curse you out right now. I'm joking.
Okay, good.
Okay, so it's you. You gotta ask me the question.
Well, I didn't know if you were gonna answer it.
You want me to answer it?
I mean, you don't have to. I don't know if we was, answering the same question or not. You don't have to. I could just read you a random question.
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
We'll keep going.
Okay.
If you could travel to any year in a time machine, what year would you choose and why?
Honestly, okay, so I used to, it's funny you ask that. I used to always be like, oh, I'd love to be in the 70s, right? No, false. I mean, I would, but it's just because of style and fashion and stuff like that. So,
music.
But if I could go to any year, I'm definitely going back to the year 2004. Random, right? Well, that was the advent, or when it really, really started to become YouTube instead of Google videos and YouTube. And I was literally on YouTube during that time period. You've heard me say this a million times. So I would have all of the money in the world right now. I would have all of it if I was in that year. 2004 would be my year. Legit. Mm-hmm. I'd be the CEO of YouTube.
That escalated quickly.
That's how the work environment goes. Anyway, number 3. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
I wouldn't be so shy in public settings.
You shy?
Yeah, I don't like talking to people. And a lot of people confuse that with I don't like people. And usually I'll joke around and be like, I don't like people, but that's not the case. I'm not good at small talk. Like, if we're not talking about...
See? Okay, see? So now I'm not,
2004 was golden.
2004 was a good year.
If we're not actually talking about something, like I can only talk about the weather for I got 3 sentences on the weather. And like, oh, like, where are you from? And, what do you do?
You gotta ask leading questions.
But that's not how my brain works. My brain doesn't think of like leading
you
questions.
You buffer when you're in a conversation and then you lag out.
I do. And it's just not good.
Reset.
Like, y'all really have to be like, pull me in, and it has to be something that I'm really interested in. And on top of that, I can't have like ADHD at the moment. Like,
and I can't be around you when you get like that, because then you expect me to pick up the slack of the conversation.
That's what you're here for.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
It's on you.
What's one of the most fun childhood memories you have?
Childhood memories. Was I ever a child? I feel like I came out an adult. I feel like I was born with the wisdom of the ancestors. Okay, so let me see. As a child, damn. Maybe.
You got a good 17 years. Pick any.
Yo, I don't know. I'm thinking about probably just me playing video games with my friends.
Okay.
I used to love. Oh no. Manhunt. We used to play Manhunt at my cousin's apartment complex, and Manhunt was amazing. And we would play it. This was back when you didn't care if your kids was out a little bit late, as long as you could look out the window and see them. So we would be outside, right in front of the building, running around, killing it. Manhunt, loved it. It would be like 20 of us, 20, 30 of us, little kids, because there were a lot of kids in the building. And we would just literally be tearing up the playground area in front of the building. Anyway, yeah, that and Ninja Tag. If you never played Ninja Tag, it's like the floor is lava before the floor became lava. And we used to be on the jungle gym, jumping back and forth. Like the ninja, the person who was it could run around the floor. But you had to stay on the actual jungle gym parts and jump and without touching the floor. And
without killing yourself.
And as you can see, I'm still here.
Very agile.
Thriving.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, my question to you. If you could have a dinner with a famous person, living or dead, who would you choose? Gotta be Michael. I know it, right? Michael Jackson. Say it.
This is not your question.
It's Michael for her.
The answer
is Michael.
Is the one and only
Miguel Jackson.
Miguel Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Jackson.
It's obviously Prince, and it's Prince for 1,000 reasons. I have so many questions. There's so many things I have wanted to talk to this man about. He plays like a gazillion instruments. Like, when did he learn this? How?
I know when he didn't learn it. Go on.
I don't like you. But move on. What's your favorite season of the year and why?
Summer, technically. I mean, I'm gonna say summer just because I like the heat.
Okay.
All right.
I was like, don't complicate it.
Because the daytime is longer, you get to stay out and do more things. It's accessible for basically everybody, and especially us being creatives. Yeah. We get to connect with people in warmer weather. Most people ain't trying to go out when it's cold. So there you have it. Now, what's your favorite movie to watch over and over again? Jesus, man.
Well, we know what your answer is.
Nope.
Not anymore? It changed?
You know what my favorite movie is now.
Now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's technically my favorite movie now.
Oh, get
up. It's because I put you on. It's okay. You knew nothing about the movie until I started watching it.
Okay, anyway, y'all can clearly tell she's lying. Next. Tell us.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, we're talking about Creed 2, which is why we are very excited for Creed 3 tomorrow, even though everybody's like, oh, it can't be as good as the second one. I don't care about it being as good as the second one.
I actually don't want it to be as good as the second one.
I want it to be its own good movie inside of the trilogy. That's all I need it to be. So Creed 2 is the answer. But before Creed...
Miss Congeniality? No, I'm joking.
No, I just watched. I've seen it a lot. I had Miss Congeniality, Legally Blonde, and what was the other one? Nine Yards? The Adam Sandler.
The Longest Yard.
I had those 3 on DVD, so I watched them all the time.
She had them on VHS tape. She's old.
I had them on DVD.
She had them on a little recorder thing that you had to crank in order to watch. Anyway, go on.
But prior to that, I would say one of my favorite movies was Coming to America.
Really?
Yep.
Coming to America. Why?
Mm-hmm. I like the blackness of it all.
A weem away.
And it, they were in Queens.
Where would we go to find a bride? Queens. Let's see. Okay, we did this season of the year. Oh no. That's on you. Wait, season of the year. Who was your? You didn't ask that.
No, I had skipped this by accident and went to that. That's why I told you to go back to that.
Okay. So now it's me. Mm-hmm. Again, what's your biggest fear?
Drowning, I think.
You know what her biggest fear is? Being trapped in the middle of an ocean at night where she can't see anything.
Being trapped in the middle of the ocean in the daytime where I can't see anything.
No, but your biggest fear is
both of those things are petrifying.
Nighttime ocean. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might be less scared being trapped in the ocean in the middle of the night because I can't see.
Exactly.
If it's daytime and I look around,
I can see that there's nothing in the daytime. Like that to me is slightly more petrifying.
You know what would be the scariest thing? An ocean with crystal clear water.
No.
And being trapped in it. Because imagine looking down.
Then you can look down and see all the things. No, I don't want to see all the things.
What is it called? Sea Beast? That movie, remember I showed you the trailer? And it's like the giant sea monster. And remember the dude fell underwater with the girl? Yeah, it's an animated one.
Oh, that I started and I was like, I'll watch it later.
Yeah, just looking and they saw gigantic eyes looking at them. And then it just like receded into the sea.
As much as I love the water, it is way too expansive and I can't get down.
Okay.
Who's your celebrity crush?
I don't have one anymore. It used to be Elise Neal. But I don't have a celebrity crush anymore. At least I don't think I do. Do I? You.
That's so sweet.
I really don't think I have a celebrity crush at all. You get older and you just don't care about any of them. It's like you're a regular person.
Because remember, I used to like Snoop, and then one day I woke up and I was like, "Why do you look like my dad?" I was like, "I can't do it no more." No, sir. You're morphing into my father.
I don't have a celebrity crush. Low key, high key. No celebrity crush.
Okay.
So, let me see. Where we at? Which one am I at?
You can't ask any of these.
Oh, we're not going in order?
You don't have to.
What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret?
Mm-hmm.
Going to college without a purpose. Going just to go in hopes to get a job, but without specifying in a field that I really wanted to, study. Like, I just went and was like, okay, they said I have to do this. I'm going to do it.
Sounds like me. I be saying that all the time. I'm like, it's not necessarily necessary to go to college, but it happens. For me, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the majority of the things that I did learn, I could have gotten off YouTube and done perfectly fine with that. Not wasted any money, not wasted any time, been active in the career while I was actually doing it.
Yep.
It's a lot of time wasted when it comes to
like everybody always asks me, they're like, oh, like, what did you do? Did you study photography? And everybody's always so like, yeah, on YouTube. There aren't too many things that you can't learn this day and age from YouTube. You're going to learn some way or another through trial and error. Because even if you go to school and your teacher teaches it to you one way, you may not like that way. So it's the same thing with YouTube. You may not like the way you learned it on YouTube. And then you'll watch another video. Unlike school, you only get that one teacher, though. Like, if I don't like a YouTube video, I could cut it off and go to the next one.
Valid.
So.
Skip ad.
Listen.
Okay, on you.
I'm a little scared of that one. What's the wildest thing you've ever done?
Wildest thing I've ever done? I don't do a lot of wild stuff.
What about when you were younger?
I mean, That's not really wild. I was stupid.
I mean, wild is subjective in this, though.
Okay, something foolish I did was turn my bicycle upside down when I was a young kid, spin the spokes and stick my finger in it, and obviously it snapped my finger, and it was just like hanging. I had to go get surgery to have it reattached.
Okay, we're gonna move on from that. Hi, Black Girl PR. Natalie said, agree, the internet has made information so much more accessible. It has.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, it can be, harder to sift through sometimes to find what you like, but once you generally, you get there. And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, no, Finger Man. But honestly, the funny thing was...
I like that name.
No. When you were saying something like the wildest thing you've done, I just think about how you used to go to places and just ask them for stuff for shows and just know that you're going to get a yes.
Yeah, we when throwback jerseys was a thing, we just rolled up on Mitchell and Ness and met the owner, just walked in and was like, hey, it was good. We having a show in college and we want to use your hundreds and thousands of dollars throwbacks. And he looked at us and he was like, okay. And he just handed it over. We used to go into the mall, to the stores, and just ask them if they'd sponsor. Did that in high school too. Did that for Eddie Bauer, Lids.
Didn't somebody give y'all a TV or something? Or
that was
system?
Okay. That was a little different. I used to work at Circuit City, and we purchased these items and then returned them the next day.
Never mind.
And they all got sent back to the factory because once you return something, they can't put it back on the shelf. They got to ship it back to the manufacturer. So it was multiple headsets and controllers. It was like a smooth couple $1,000.
Still relatively ingenious for
college. For broke
exactly.
College students.
Nancy said street teams are underrated. That is so very true.
They are.
Before the invention of the internet, street teams were how we found out about everything.
I still say to this day, I had an unrivaled level of confidence in college that I didn't care. I was going to walk up to you and ask you regardless because I just felt like the answer was going to be yes. It's like I got older and I'm like,
where did that go?
I don't need to approach this person. They don't know me.
Where did that go?
I'm not going to ask them anything.
That. They just walk up and be like, hey, I don't know where in life, where along the roller coaster that faded away. But I'm going to find it. I'm going to get that back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what's your dream road trip destination?
Oh, road trip.
You thought it was a spaceship?
No.
Spaceship destination?
I thought it was what's your dream destination at first. And I was like, oh, okay.
So
where haven't I been yet?
Dream destination then?
Well, right now it's just Hawaii, and you know why. So that's one of my it's at the top of my list because we have plans for Hawaii. But my dream road trip destination.
Take over the world.
I would love to, and even though I know that we've already been here, but I would like to road trip to New Orleans and stop at different places along the way.
I'm gonna leave that off.
A road trip can't be 2 hours.
A road trip can't be one driver.
I mean that too.
Moving on. Go ahead. She up here volunteering road trips that she will not drive at all. I ask anybody to ask Nay, I dare you, what are her cumulative driving hours in the car with me? How many? Two. And how long have I been driving you around?
20 years.
2 hours in 20 years.
It might be a little bit more than 2 hours.
You mean a little more than 20 years?
No. I said what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. She said our NOLA pics were amazing. That was a good time.
My NOLA pics?
Our. You took pics with the camera. I still took pics with my cell phone.
Pictures didn't happen.
I stand a passenger princess. So
spoken like a true
wonderful
lazy bug.
Shout out to BB because BB taught me what a passenger princess was, and I was like,
she's also
from
one
now
too.
on
Refusing
for the rest
to
of
drive.
my life.
She has a license. She
But
refuses
she does
to
drive. Because she has to, but she still doesn't.
She was forced into that vehicle.
So she does it. I think it counts.
She absolutely loathes driving.
What are 3 items on your bucket list?
3 items on my bucket list?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And I want... There's a major event that I'm planning, and I want to have that become... Oh, no. My app.
Okay.
But you know which app I'm talking about. There's a specific app that I'm talking about. A big money making app. It's just
Coming soon.
I haven't, you know.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, what's your dream job?
I'm doing my dream job.
What's your other dream job?
My dream job is being a healing arts jeweler. Shout out to Nancy, actually. She's great with the words. But Nancy said, "Where in Africa?"
where it says whispers Namibia. I've never even considered Namibia, honestly. I don't even know anybody who's went there, but I take it you have. For me, it was always Ghana. But then I always said I wanted to go somewhere that most people don't go, like Madagascar or something like that.
Madagascar is heavy. And Tanzania. I don't remember which one. My uncle went to buy property on one of those. I need to remember and figure out which one it was.
Please remember that.
She said it's a gem.
Namibia. I would have to go. You're going to be our tour guide.
What'd you just ask me?
Dream job.
Oh, yes. So being a healing arts jeweler is obviously my dream job. Because it's currently what I do and I love it.
What does a healing arts jeweler do?
We make jewels that are healing.
I guess.
So how his rings have hematite, his neck piece has amethyst, my earrings have tourmaline. So my
rings have copper.
Copper. So I include, she said she's down to be.
Okay.
So I include crystals
Passenger
and
princess.
healing metals. Passenger princess. And healing metals inside of my jewelry. And I also use crystals to help people manifest their desires and intentions and heal themselves inside and out. But if it wasn't that, it probably would have been a dancer. Or if it wasn't that, it would have been...
cricket letter, humpback,
headbutt shoe.
Mississippi
Not that kind of dancer. No P-Valley. Even though they be... The way... That is some acrobatics. But moving on. Or I would have been a track Olympian.
Damn.
Yeah, no. If I'm going for it, I'm going for it. I'm not just going to be a track athlete. I want to be an Olympian.
I can see that.
I want the medals. I want Allison Felix.
Listen, if I could sing, I would be one of the greatest performers in the world right now.
Thank you. She said my earrings are incredible.
They are nice.
Hey, and they're releasing tomorrow. But yeah.
How many of them? All of them? Or just...
6 pairs.
They're nice. Anyway.
Thank you.
On you. Not that question. Not 18.
That's cool. If you had to guess what people appreciate about you the most, what would you say?
The fact that I'm empathetic. I usually can understand where people are coming from. I'm a good listener.
You are.
It works. See how she's looking at me all lovingly?
Because he's good at it.
I'll listen.
Especially when I be like...
That's probably me more than anything recently. And you be like, listen, baby.
It's okay, we switch
like
up.
The old school tracks. Listen, baby.
So we realized recently that we have the same 3 signs. They're just in different places. So so we're essentially the same person. So we switch off.
She's just a mixed up version of me.
Here you go. Anyway, so sometimes, when he needs a little, I'm here for it. And when I need a little
tap.
a little ball tap.
Speaking of which,
you're there for my what? This should never lead to anything.
She went to tap me the other day.
It was today.
She was it today?
This morning.
I was like, she was sitting up. She was in the bed. She was sitting up. She went to tap me just to say, "Hey, babe," and she's not paying attention. And she goes, and I hopped up so quick. I was like, "Yo, watch where you were tapping. You hit me dumb hard." I'm sorry, y'all.
My bad, G.
TMI, but I was about to be infertile out here.
I love you. That's my bad.
Jeez.
I was excited too, so I was like, "Babe," and he was like, "Oh."
Almost coughed him up.
Go ahead. It's on you.
If you could be a part of a family on any TV show, which one would it be? I know what hers is. Sanford and Son. Go on. Married with Children. Modern Family.
Stop. I'm trying to make sure I run through all the black shows
Blackish.
before
Martin.
I make my answer.
Fresh Prince. Cosby Show. Different.
I feel like my answer is, well, A Different World isn't.
It's a family show.
I mean, it's a family show, but they're not necessarily a family.
So you mean like blood relatives? Nah, she's hilarious because she tapped me wrong. But anyway, go on.
Wait, specify. So are we talking about family you choose or blood family?
Give me both.
Okay.
Ooh, I already know which one you would choose.
Because if it's family you choose, we're doing Living Single all day long.
I was gonna say yeah.
I have watched Living Single so many times.
I was gonna say it's
not
gonna be Living Single.
Even funny.
I mean, she means Friends. They'll be there for her.
Don't even get me started on Friends and how they ripped off everything from that show.
What about Living Single?
But yes, it would definitely be Living Single. Though A Different World is a solid close second because I'm pretty sure I watched that show.
Mm-hmm. Baby, please.
Maybe. Oh my gosh, I will watch that show from beginning to end just for that scene, and then to find out that he ended up ad-libbing that part because he forgot his lines.
Yeah, Kadeem Hardison.
What?
Came back for his woman.
Amazing. But she said you got the magazine and everything. Do you know when I realized that I fell in love with the show even more? I was like, Khadijah don't need you.
I am Khadijah. Nadeja.
But yes, thank you. You see that this is why you get me. But if it was blood family, then it would be Fresh Prince with the original Aunt Viv.
That is so colorist of you.
That's fine. What? I don't know what more you want me to do. Like, there was clearly a difference in the role, not even the person, but the role that they played. So
I guess
if that's what you want it to be, then that's what it is.
I guess.
I need the Aunt Viv that's gonna send Wade in the water and hit me with the. I need that Aunt Viv. Is it on me to ask you a question?
It is. It is on you. Don't tell me you forgot to read already.
I just want to make sure, because I'm trying to... What's your favorite thing about yourself? Oh, she said she just screamed. What's your favorite thing about yourself?
This big brain of mine. Because I loves to think.
I love to think.
I'm quick on my feet.
You are.
I'm very quick on my feet.
Sometimes too quick. Sometimes so quick that it makes me laugh like
I'm offended
uncontrollably. No, it's good, but it's.
I'm
like,
talking
how?
about? Because I think we're talking about two different things. Anyway, I'm quick on my feet. Only on my feet. Sometimes.
Cut it out.
I don't know.
But yes, I do agree. Because what did you say the other day? I said something, and your response to it was so fast and so perfect that I got so upset because I was like, how did he think of that gem so fast? But anyway, it's not gonna come to me. That's not how my brain works.
Y'all ready for this? Because I already know the answer. You ready? What's your favorite song to sing in the shower? I guarantee I know what you're gonna say.
Are you judging me?
But go ahead, I want to hear it. I'll be honest. If I'm wrong, I'll be honest, and I'll tell them what I think it's gonna be.
My Whitney Houston song?
I knew exactly what she was gonna say.
Do you know what the funny thing is though? Right now I want to dance with somebody in my head, but that's not my song. Thank you. Yes.
Yo, you can hear her belting.
And I gotta have it. I don't want the pieces. I want every single part. That's my part.
Belting in the shower.
Because it's an amazing song.
Belting.
And the cadence is ridiculous. And I don't know what in her mind told her.
Please do that accent for the rest of the night.
Please do not. Do not encourage him. Because he will.
No problem. I would. For you, I would do it. I promise.
I can't. You cannot encourage him. Please. What's a bad habit that you've been able to overcome?
A bad habit. Let's see.
Mentally.
Nah, I'm not gonna.
She said, I'm crying.
Wait. Okay. So you said what is a bad habit that I've been able to overcome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So, thanks to this one, I learned that as the Virgo I am, the tone I used to take with people when I would be justifiably upset with stuff. I said justifiably upset with things. But I didn't know how to moderate my tone in expressing my upset. I wasn't cursing anybody out, but I have a way of saying things. It's like a hot knife through butter. I'm trying to hurt feelings. And it became so ingrained in me, it was second nature. But she pointed that out. And then I saw a videotape of me actually doing it. I did. It was like the universe did that. And so now, I am much better than I was before.
You have it goes through a filter first?
No, I just usually don't say anything now. I just feel like, because it's not worth it. And, young anger is gone. This is old turtle sage on the mountain right now. So that's how things work for me. Let's see.
What you say, huh? What you say, what you got for me?
What's the wildest thing you've ever done to get someone's attention?
Like in general or like a relationship?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It's not specific.
So the reason that I'm thinking so hard is because if I don't have someone's attention, I generally like. And so I'm not the kind of person to be like, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like too shy. But, I wouldn't say it's not wild, but I've definitely danced my best dance moves to, lock somebody in.
It did work. It worked.
And 20 years later. But yeah, that's I would say like that's probably the most, because I never, especially not when I was younger, I didn't feel like, I was very nonchalant. I was extremely nonchalant, especially when it came to like relationships and stuff. So I wasn't like, if I felt like a person wasn't feeling me, I would just be like, okay.
You thought I was feeling you?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, oh well, I'm gonna go that way. It wouldn't be like, oh, how can I get their attention? How can I make them love me? I'm like, if you don't already love me, then what am I gonna do about it? I'll just go over here and try to find somebody else who does. But yeah, so I knew I had she said the facial expressions are sending me. I knew I had a few good dance moves in my back pocket, and I used my back pocket to execute them.
And execute them, she did. Very well.
What's your favorite food of all time?
Well, trumpets.
Just period.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, I'm talking about mushrooms, but trumpet mushrooms, and that's because you can make them in such a variety of ways. I've done the barbecue, we've done the chicken, the bacon, the crab. I've done the crab. I don't think you ever tasted it when I did that.
No, because you only did it once, and then you practically made yourself sick eating it, so you never made it again.
The scallion not scallion, scallops. I've done a scallop version. That's because I used to be a seafood fiend. So yeah, right. They missed the memo. I
think we're almost done. This was good. 21 questions.
Of all the personal questions I could ask you, which one you wouldn't want to answer? That is a different question, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's like I feel relatively transparent, but then I also know that there's got to be something where I find a way to like skirt my way around the question. It would probably be something sexual or sex related where I'd just be like, I don't know where we're going with this. Like, I'm out. Pineapples.
See, yeah, she said that's a good one. Look, see. There you go.
I think the last one is, what's your biggest regret? Oh no, actually this one exists too.
Well, that's not for me, that's for you. Biggest regret. I feel like most people are like, oh, I don't live with regrets. Regrets just teach us lessons. They do. It doesn't mean I don't regret it because the lesson could have been learned, so I didn't regret it.
Don't do that.
Just like people are like, forgive or you got to forgive and forget. And I'm like, I can forgive. I ain't got to forget the fact that it happened.
Forgive either,
but
that's another story.
Pineapples. Biggest regret was being so focused on trying to make a relationship work that I ignored the potential of what I was working on. This is why I said if I could go back to a year 2000, it would be 2004 because that was around the time YouTube started to crank up. And this was right around the time I had stopped working I was working at Circuit City. I was in the sales department. I was doing computer networking and all this other stuff for clients on an individual basis. Like they were calling me to their homes in this very rich area when I was going to school out in Philly. I was up in Valley Forge. And when I was doing that, I was like heavy into YouTube, heavy into programming, web design, just everything in general. And because I was made to feel like I wasn't giving somebody enough attention when I was always on my computer, I neglected the opportunities that were in front of me, which would have been YouTube. And everybody that I know that was on YouTube at that period of time and then maintained it are like multi-millionaire people.
It's like getting in at Bitcoin in the beginning.
Yeah. It's one of those.
All you need now is one Bitcoin.
So I do, if there's a regret, it's that. That's probably the only regret that I have. One of my biggest accomplishments. No regrets here. Anyway, let's see. I don't want to ask that one. No.
You just want to find another one? Think of anything off the top of your head because you're good at that? I'm absolutely not. You're like, Nate, think of something off the top of your head. Oh, well, why aren't you an astronaut? What? What is... You know why I'm not an astronaut. I didn't study becoming an astronaut.
What's your biggest turn off?
My biggest turn off? I have a lot of turn offs.
Toes with wrinkles.
Ironically, not so much, but...
Ashy fingernails.
Fingernails? Not... Yes. That would be a turn. But hygiene. Hygiene is probably one of my biggest turn-offs overall. So I have mild OCD.
Mild?
Don't.
If her OCD was a volume button, it would be broken.
So I don't like certain smells. I don't like certain feelings. I don't like certain textures. And when I come across those things... I have low-key heart attacks. And I have to do things inside my brain to make me feel like that thing is not happening.
High-key heart attacks.
In that moment.
Ooh, y'all want to hear a creepy story? All right, tune in.
I feel like
Come
no.
closer.
Can I leave?
So, she knows this story.
Is it gonna creep me out?
It may. After my freshman year in college.
Oh God, not this story.
I was supposed to move into another dorm because we were moving out of the freshman dorm into this other dorm. And instead of doing that, because I was supposed to take summer classes, I decided to go back home. And instead of taking my stuff with me, I decided to move it into the dorm and just like leave it there. So I moved everything into the dorm. I left it in the dorm room. Never met my roommate, my new roommate, whatever. I just left it on the bed, all my stuff piled up, whatever. Come back, end of the summer. I know they probably hated me, whatever. I get all my stuff, put it together because I got to move it from one dorm to the other dorm. So I'm putting everything together. I'm putting it in the bin, doing all this. So there were these. If you've ever been in a dorm room, right? There's a desk. They give you a desk. Nobody cares about this desk, but it's just this wooden penitentiary desk that they give you to put all your stuff on the computer, whatever. So you usually know there's like a top shelf, and then there's a shelf where you put your computer, and then your drawers, whatever. So on the top shelf, I had salt and pepper shakers and like Dawn dishwashing detergent or something. It was weird. Like I said, I just put stuff there and I moved on. So I go to pick everything up, picking everything up. And I went to reach for the salt and pepper shaker, right? And when I did it, you grab something and you reach over to grab it like you're picking it up by the top. I did that, so my fingers went down. And when they did that, all I felt was something. And I was like, what the? A huge fucking water bug was on its back behind the salt and pepper shaker. And I didn't know it. And it literally, I was like, oh, what the? So I went and I got dishwashing liquid and I just poured it on it and let it like sit in there till it solidified into a little encasing. And then I took my stuff and I dipped. But yeah, that was creepy. I don't know if you've ever felt.
Let me tell you how I would have sued everybody. I could never. Yes, Natalie, I already knew the story. What's up, David?
What up, David?
Let me tell you how I would have broke everything. Everything would have been broken. Everything. Mm-hmm. She said, what's a water bug?
It's a big ass roach.
Yes.
It's a giant roach.
Think cockroach. But it's like this big.
It's a cockroach, essentially. It's like a cockroach.
And I'm holding my hand up to the, like, literally, like, in real life, this distance. Like if a regular roach is like this big.
It's the equivalent of if you take your pointer finger, it's at least, that one was probably 3 phalanxes. So like the length of your pointer finger. That's how long it was. And it was probably about 1.5 inches wide.
No.
And I'm pretty sure it tried to grapple my finger to get away. And that's why it was like,
what are you doing?
Do you not like when I touch you?
I don't.
Is there a problem? Is there a problem with me touching you?
But yes, that story gave me the ultimate creeps. The ultimate.
You want to hear a worse story? Here's a worse story. You ready? When I was in college, I moved in with my friend, right? This is right before I came back to New York.
Yes, the Leo is definitely breaking everything.
So I was
and the Virgo part of me is not cleaning it up. And the Libra part is going to act like it didn't happen at all. So yes.
I moved in with my homeboy. We lived in this place. I don't know why this place was like, it was weird. It was like a nice place, but it was like right next to an abandoned place. There was a couple of places I was like living at in Philly that were like that. If you ever been to Philly, there's certain parts. I live in a place in Philly called The Bottom when I was there. So if you've ever been there, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. But behind my school, I used to go to Drexel University. Behind the school, at this place, or further down on Chestnut Street, I'm at this place. It might have been Walnut. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, down the street, at the place, and a mouse came into this house. Now, this is like a smooth 18 years ago. Like, it's mad long ago.
And yet, I still just got chills.
And Nay hops up, like, freaking out. She's on the bed. I go, and I get the broom, and I chase him down. He goes to the bathroom. I'm standing in front of the door because he's at the back wall. I'm like, yeah, it's over for you. It runs towards me. I take the broom and hockey sweep him, hits the wall, boom, dies. Sweep him into the dustpan, and I come in the room and I'm like, hey, Nay, right? I didn't know at the time that Nay was like deathly scared of mice.
I don't like rodents.
She don't like rodents, no bugs like that.
Nothing.
And this was early stages of us still getting to know the intricacies of each other. And I learned the hard way because she literally started to break down in front of me. And I was like, wait, whoa. I was like, I'm so sorry. I did not know.
Mind you, I'm yelling at him. Stop. Go away. Don't come closer. Like yelling these words.
Yeah, it was bad. I don't know. I was buffering.
But ever since then, I never had to worry about it because if there was ever a situation,
she knows I'll handle it. You know, I'll go in and grab it like this and snap its neck if I need to. Just.
I don't think he's ever done that.
Real men grab mice by the hand and show them who's boss.
That was actually a story though. When I was in college.
I know, you told this story. And I was like, that motherfucker is crazy.
So, I was in my dorm room sophomore year of college. And I am a girl from Queens. I know that most people say when you have a house, houses have house mice. That was never my experience. I didn't grow up with mice. I didn't grow up with roaches.
That was a new experience in college. I was like, what are these things?
If we saw bugs in Queens, we generally open a window and let them out. If you see spiders, you let them live because they generally kill off other bugs. If you saw a roach, you kill it, right? So I wasn't used to this. She said I was buffering, gonna use that. So I'm not used to that experience. So in my room, I hear something going in the radiator, right? And my bed is next to the radiator. So I'm like, no. Like, but I don't know 100% because I've never lived this life. So I don't know, like, some people be like, yeah, you ain't know. No, I did not know. I did not know.
The only life I know.
And then I thought I heard a squeak. And the squeak is what made me run out my room. Door open, didn't care. I'm running around the dorm. Mind you, it is like 1:32 in the morning. So I'm petrified because I know even though we're in college, still half the dorm is asleep or half the dorm is not there. Either way, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And thankfully, downstairs, I run into my homegirl's boyfriend, who literally, I didn't know, but he would have been in literally the room right next to me, but I didn't know that he was even here. And maybe it was because he probably shouldn't have been there. But regardless, I run into him and I'm like, yo, bro, I was like, I think there's a mouse in my room. So he goes and he listens and he's like, you have a plastic bag? And I'm like, I'm black. Of course I have a plastic bag. So I give him a plastic bag and all I hear is, and he like folds it up and goes, he's like, I'll take it outside for you. I am ultimately grateful and ultimately petrified.
Of all the alpha males, he is the alpha.
I was like,
of alpha males.
Did this man just snap the mouse's neck? Where are you from, sir? Where do they do that? But I was also like, yay, thank you.
he's a professional mouse wrangler. And
apparently, after that dorm eventually became like infested. So, but I'm happy that it was not like infested
with a bunch of snitches.
The year that we were there. So that was my only living experience until I moved to Brooklyn, and I didn't realize that was like people's everyday living experience. I was like, I don't know why people think that that's an okay thing. And every time it has ever been, I'm like, close your holes. They can only get in. What are we talking about? Yes, exactly. Close your holes as best as possible. So she said that sound. But yeah, I can't. And I'm grateful that I do have him because there were a lot of times, especially in my first apartment in Brooklyn when I was in my 20s, where baby, and then upstairs, downstairs
been
was
a time
mice,
where
and
I wasn't
upstairs
there.
were the water bugs, and I'm like, this cannot be my life.
You want to hear the funniest thing? So this apartment she had like mad long ago. It was around the same time as the stories I'm telling you. I had to leave, right? So I wasn't there for like a month, 3 weeks, something like that.
It was a month. It might have been the long
she
summer.
Calls me like when she was downstairs. It might have been the occasional mouse. That never became a problem when she moved upstairs.
Yes.
It became water bugs.
Yes.
And they will always crawl. They be on their way out. You know, got to get them, toss them, whatever, right? This is what you deal with when you're younger and you're like college age and you don't really give a... But anyway,
I gave.
She did. She did. She was trying to escape. So, she calls me one day and she was like, "Will, I don't know what to do. There's one here." I was like, "Babe, just like hit it with a shoe. Take a shoe and hit it."
All nonchalant. Just kill it.
I'm like, I can't do anything.
If I could just kill it, it would be dead. Randomly,
during the middle of her telling me this, it starts to fly.
Bro, it flew.
In
my apartment, over me.
Yo, hearing her freak out on the phone, I was like, yo, I feel so bad because there's nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do. But anyway.
I'm not ashamed. I called my mama and she was like, "What you want me to do?" And I was like, "Bring my stepdaddy." "What you mean what I want you to do?" Like, everybody needs to come over here so that I am not by myself until this thing is found and killed. Like, these are very simple. Like, I don't do bugs. I don't do rodent. I do some bugs. Let me not say I don't do any bugs. I like ladybugs or like pretty bugs, you know, or bugs that I find less butterflies are great. Bugs that I find less atrociously disgusting.
Murder hornets.
Right? Or things that I feel like if they crawl on me, like now I'm dirty. Like, I don't even like flies because flies like shit. So why would I like flies? Like, I don't want them in my house. Yeah, no. So we got here and did everything baby, the screams. Natalie, the screams. When I tell you.
Yeah, she used to cry. It's not even a scream. She used to literally have a breakdown. It was bad.
Like, I think I'm better now. But I feel like then.
You ain't really had to deal with it, so. But then. Yeah, she was no good. Like, she was no good to anybody.
Honestly, I think for me, it's a enclosed space. Like, I feel like when I see them outside, I'm just like, oh, ill.
How about ants?
I'm cool. I don't mind ants.
She used to fry with magnifying glasses.
No. There are certain bugs that I feel like, let them, you know, roam free, and or certain bugs that I feel like, because we do our best not to kill living animals or living beings like insects and things, but some bugs, like I feel like roaches gotta go,
and every now and then somebody gotta get it, you know what I mean?
Those living beings. Or if certain bugs get into our place, like, you're not gonna just create more bugs all the time. Like, this isn't your nesting space.
Spiders are nice though.
That's what I said. Spiders kill the other bugs, so that's cool.
I'd be hiring spider assassins. Like, yo, I'm
a lot of people. Spider assassins.
I need you to get that bug over there.
A lot of people are scared of bees. I love bees. Bees when I'm outside in the summertime, especially when I'm vending. Shut up. Especially when I'm vending, bees always come give me kisses. Like, they always bump into me. So I'm cool with some bugs. Them other bugs, them bugs that just be crawling around in your house and think that that's cool, that's not cool. I'm not doing them bugs.
Why not?
Them bugs gotta go. They gotta go because they don't pay rent. They don't pay mortgage. They're not chipping into the HOA. They're not thinking about the light bill. They gotta go. That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, you got any questions?
I think we might have did over 21.
21.
But
remember that? No.
Oh gosh.
21.
Oh, we've already been talking for an hour. That was good. Okay, so this has been episode 3 of the WNN podcast, the winning podcast. Freeloaders, that's who they are. Thank you.
Yes. Ow.
They are freeloaders. So we have done the Am I the Asshole? We have done 21 questions. If you guys have any questions that you think that we should ask, that is also for you guys to answer. We love for you to, you know, chip in, tune in, given your digital contributions. Thank you. Your digital answers. Feel free to DM them to me on Adorned and Taji, and we will include them on the next podcast. So that's any Am I the Asshole type things, any 21 questions, anything of the sort. And we are doing this every Thursday at 9 p.m. What were we about to say?
I'm always open for whatever questions. You know, I'm an open book. I'm not easy to read, but I am an open book. That one's for free.
Bars? And that is, I don't know why, but that last part gave me Kevin Hart. But yeah, so every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, We will be here. We love chatting with you all. We also love that all of you somehow always join when we're logging off. I don't know how that always happens. Should we move the podcast to 10?
No.
I'm like, why does this always happen?
Sleep.
I know, for real, because I'm about to go eat and relax. Or maybe I'm going to make some jewelry. I don't know what I'm going to do. But, hi, Sancha. Thank you, Natalie. This was fun. We do always enjoy.
Yes, we enjoy each other. It was fun.
This is your fault. I just want you to know.
You know what I think the worst
accent
imitation done by anybody, almost anybody. J-A-M Jamaica. Nah. It's Forrest Whitaker in Black Panther.
Oh, you meant like an accent? I thought you meant like a type of accent, but yes.
When he said the powers of the Black Panther will be stripped away, I was like, I ain't heard not nan country in Africa.
That ever.
Not Niger, not Nigeria. I ain't heard Namibia.
Right.
I ain't heard nobody sound like that.
It's from a tribe that we've never heard of. There's like
he ain't heard of it either. He made it up.
Thousands of them. Ain't there like 92 countries or something like that? He picked one that ain't nobody ever really been
Where's
to.
Natalie from?
So,
Natalie, where you from? Don't even. I'm not gonna let Nate answer this. Where you from? I'll wait.
Yeah, because you know it's going to take a while.
Yeah,
she's not actually seeing you say this until
she's
just
gonna
now.
She's going to say
and
it in
now
a second.
she's typing it.
And then when I see it, I'm going to make my response. Because now I'm talking to you.
Because now I'm talking to you.
Now I'm talking to you. See how I'm looking into the camera, right into your eyes, into the depths of your soul? Because I'm in your living room, in your space right now.
Not in your living room. That's a little bit creepy.
I just need to know where she's from specifically. Like,
she told us at the first situation, but that was like 4 years ago. So
wait, she was at the first situation?
Not the live one, the virtual one.
Oh, I was like, how did I miss this?
Yeah, she couldn't have. I mean, she could have, but she would have had to have gotten on a plane if she would have came to the live one. But yeah.
Huh. Okay. No. Okay. Anyway, Lesotho, Namibia, Uganda, and South Africa. God damn. What did you just
said? All the places.
Trip and fall into all of those countries? Like, your parents was like, nah, you're going to be from all of these places. Now,
Thank you. Sancha said, you ain't never going to act right. Never. People shouldn't know this. This should be a thing that we all collectively know.
I behave proper at all times. Nate just doesn't know how to keep up with me. Anyway, if she matched my energy, spicy. We would look like two normal people.
Spicy. She said she would have loved to have gotten on a plane.
Yo, okay, so here's my thing. Mm-hmm. If any of y'all, we gonna go a little bit over. I don't know are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. If any of y'all have ever watched the first Black Panther, I feel like everybody has, right? And you heard Forrest Whitaker speak. Did you say to yourself, that's an authentic accent?
That's the
from
one.
A country.
I know exactly where he's from.
I don't have to know which country, but I know it's authentic.
Because I've heard it before, at least.
Did you say to yourself, what in the entire made them think him talking like that was going to be okay? He sounded like an AI generated, and all I heard was... Now, you remember he gave him the liquid, the fluid, mm-hmm. to strip his powers?
The flower,
he was
right?
And now the powers of the Black Panther will be stripped away. It was so bad.
Honestly,
I made a meme.
I feel like we do it better than he did it. Like, even when we're imitating him, we still do it better.
Wait, hold on. The powers of the Black Panther will be stripped away.
You're so wrong.
That's not my good Forrest Whitaker? Wait, it's the wrong one?
Goodbye, Will. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I'm sorry.
Sancha, don't
I didn't
laugh
mean
at
that.
him, please.
I didn't mean that. That
don't
was
laugh
wrong.
At him.
I apologize.
No. Let's go. But yes, no. I do agree. I do feel like...
No, I will not log off now. I will keep you entertained for hours.
I do feel like that. I feel like Ryan Coogler went to all of these places and he was like, bro, that ain't it. That's not what they taught us when we was out at Because he went to like 12 different tribes or something, and I'd have been like, bro, you couldn't pick one? She said, use Nollywood gold.
First off, let's not talk about Nollywood. I love Nollywood. I think Nollywood is hilarious. Why are you running?
She said she gave herself the suspended disbelief talk before the movie.
Yo, first off, he had to have looked at Forrest Whitaker and said, he's been in the industry for a while, and then he stared close into his eyes and he said, he's the one, because I know he's seen some things.
You going by yourself. I'm not going with you. They not going with you.
Why are you
either.
running?
They're not going with you.
Why are you running?
In the beginning.
G-O-O-G-L-E. Googly. Anyway, Nollywood is life. Low key, yo, there is I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen it. There is a video. It's an older video, but it shows a dude, and I'm pretty sure it was a Nollywood video. It could have been a spoof, but him and a bunch of, I believe it's kids that were in town were running from somebody and they were shooting, and your man gets hit, and they're like, oh. I was hit.
He rolls
and I am dying
12 times.
Whoever voiced it over was hilarious. And he rolls, he starts breakdancing. This is his death sequence. He starts breakdancing. He falls down. And I swear, yo, I must have laughed for a smooth 30 minutes straight because I've never seen somebody exaggerate a death sequence that much in my life.
It was good.
But I'm pretty sure it was Nollywood.
It was great.
But, you know, as interesting as some of the films can be, I love watching them recreate shit.
No, I agree.
I absolutely love it. I love watching them recreate stuff. But low-key, I think the most ridiculous is Bollywood.
Bollywood has no chill, bro.
Bollywood, I saw a
she
movie.
Said, you're so serious.
Where, what did he say?
Nancy said, and they're so serious. Sancha said, except Prince dying.
Under the cherry moon, I laugh every time.
Sis, it's horrible. It is, I don't know why. I do know why. It's Prince. Never mind. But go ahead.
What you mean? You didn't like it? That's your homie. You gonna talk bad on his name? He gonna haunt you.
Unpopular opinion, I only like half of Purple Rain.
If Nay is asleep at night and she starts screaming because she hit blame her for ragging on Prince, because this is all her doing.
First of all, if I'm sleeping in the middle of the night and I wake up to Prince, it's about to be a party. A party.
Sancha, you left the D off the end of that word love.
You play too much. April 21st is right around the corner. You doing too much. Don't get beat up today. Anyway, yes, we can talk trash.
So now that you're here,
you can't talk trash.
Let me test out my stand-up.
Sancha, tell him it's just us. It's just us, not him. Just us.
Listen, I accompanied her to this Purple Rain tribute thing as soon as he passed away. I made her a Prince tribute piece the day.
Doesn't Sancha have it too? Or did she buy a t-shirt?
Does she?
Something.
I don't know. That was like, he died like in 1983.
I don't like you.
But you
and
love
yes, Sancha, we are gonna party. Like it's 1999.
Y2K?
She set us up for that on purpose.
Like it's Y2K? Anyway, so,
see, she said she got the shirt. Haha, I knew it.
Yo, you know what's funny? I had cut off sales of that shirt. You were like one of maybe like 3 people. Because I didn't want to commercialize it. And I had cut off access to it. So if you have it, you are a rare breed. And
I think it's me, her, and Drea. And
I think there's there might be 2 people with a Prince print.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be one of those people who, when somebody passes away, they capitalize. Yeah. And I had did it for her anyway. Because I knew she was feeling down about his death.
Oh
I was like, look, when I die,
so bad.
You better feel the same way times 20.
I think I cried for Prince more than I did my daddy. Matter of fact, I know I did because I cried for my dad for like 30 seconds.
Matter of fact, I know I did because I have no common sense. That is how that sentence was supposed to end. And yet, she still didn't say it right.
Some people, they just hit you right here. She said she needs another one, though, because the sister got fluffy. She got to you got to let her be able to.
I'm sure he's expanded, too, since his passing.
I'm trying not to be violent. Trying not to be violent. Natalie said she appreciates you for not trying to capitalize.
Yeah, I don't like that. I hate when people do that. They find out. Anytime somebody passes away or somebody does something, watch how many artists start drawing them and doing whatever. First off, I was not a Prince fan. Not that I didn't like him. His music at the time was something that didn't necessarily like jump out at me, but it did to her. So I knew how much she cared about him. So I was like, I want to do something nice and make her feel better. So I created the Prince piece. And there's rarely, like, I create pieces. And if you know my artwork, it's just, I do a lot of bust work. So I was like, let me create this. Now, here's the other kicker, is it was in black and white. But I also know she's obsessed with me coloring stuff. So that's one of the rare times I was like, I'm going to color this for her. Because
it was so perfect. The purple and the gold.
You want to know how perfect it was? I posted it on my Redbubble account. Prince's management company immediately was like, no, take this down.
Did you know that most entertainment
I did not know that, but that makes sense. Obituaries. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. That makes sense, but
that's also a little morbid, though. I mean, it makes sense for them to be prepared for, like, if such and such passes away, they can, like TMZ. There's no reason TMZ should be reporting on people's deaths faster than what used to be CNN type thing. But I guess it makes sense in that manner. Like, if you're a news outlet and they're just like, oh, scroll to the name, somebody in the M's died. So that they don't have to wait for somebody to write it up and nobody could get the jump the gun on them. But it's still morbid.
Yeah, they wanted me to get that piece down though. Immediately. They was like, take this out of here. All right?
Yeah,
if you don't,
Snap is right.
We're gonna sue you. That's essentially what the letter said that they sent to me. It was like, hey, we noticed you got this thing up. Take it down or else.
Sancha said, I guess for people that have known and then she said destructive behaviors, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then Nancy said, way morbid, especially because they're doing it for SEO and to be the first.
That's wild. That is true. And of course, their SEO is going to pop.
Yes, because once you get it first, it's always going to be closer to the top.
Everybody's going to search for that. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yo, SEO, I be telling people, and people don't understand the impact of SEO. I used to tell people when I was doing web development, they'd be like, oh, can you do a website for me? E-commerce. And I'd be like, okay, that's going to cost this amount for what you're looking for. And then they'd be like, oh, can you do SEO too? And I'd be like, that's like another website.
Literally.
If you want me to do SEO, it's going to cost you a grip. Please understand that.
You have to do it for every single page. And if it's not just like a 5-page basic informational website, like you want a blog, you want products.
You gotta be intentional SEO. You want internal links, external links. You gotta have certain word counts.
Sancha said, I don't get it, even from my own website.
SEO is...
Go talk to Natalie, Black Girl PR.
Yeah,
y'all go have a conversation.
She got it. Even doing SEO, okay, so I have a whole portfolio site, right? My portfolio site, like I revised it and went through and did.
It's pretty. I was about to say it. Y'all go check out theonewillfocus.com.
Theonewillfocus.com. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Send me a nice little review or something. Be like, this is the prettiest site I've ever seen. Such a handsome black man. If you want to add that in there, I'll accept it. Anyway, so I had never actually, I would do SEO stuff bit by bit for other people, but I never did it for myself. When I realized how long I went without doing anything for myself because of all the portfolio items, I'm still doing it. It's been 2 months. And I'm getting closer.
It took me roughly a month. And that was only because, well, first of all, I was working with Natalie. And secondly, because I was like, let me Like when I set my mind to something and I really want to get it out of the way, even if it's kind of mundane, I have to do it fast. Otherwise, it's a wrap for me.
So Sancha, if you decide you want new art, just hit me directly. The reason why is because you'll notice there's a huge difference in my site now. It went to complete photography. The design aspect was pulled away because I started doing design and illustration only for like specific people, and that's like rare. And so it's there, it's hidden in a link, but right now it's just my photography.
You gotta get the exclusive. You gotta DM him for the exclusive.
Yeah, if you hit me up, I got you. And if you want, to check some stuff out, I'll send it to you. But matter of fact, if you go to theonewillfocus.com/product-category/artwork, all the art will come up. And then you can look at it there. Shh. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, so secret. So secret, so special.
Anyway, so yeah, it'll be there and you can enjoy it. Yeah, but back to Nathalie.
Oh, she said she'll buy some photo prints really too. She wants a gallery in her house.
Listen, galleries are wonderful, especially if they're filled with my work. The
work of black folks.
So don't listen to her.
Why?
Because she's racist. I'm joking.
Oh, snap. We got the inside scoop.
No, for real, but I literally don't give that link out to anybody anymore. Only people who see anything of mine are people looking for photography. If you are looking for photography or you know somebody who needs photography work done, let me know. Headshots, portraits, weddings, engagements, events. I do all of them. And not just that rinky-dink photographer.
No.
That ain't me.
I love that you just gave that beautiful commercial, too.
That ain't me. You see these dimples?
She said,
I got one dimple I'm proud of.
My work and the work of people I know. Yes. Black art, period.
Yeah. I mean, what other way shamelessly to plug what you do than to do it on here?
Come through with the promo.
Exactly. You got a shameless plug, But we also plug y'all as well.
Big facts. That's what I said. Y'all go talk to each other. Y'all go have some conversations.
Yeah, but SEO is definitely different. I also give it to PR people because dealing with people and their visions, especially the ones who don't have a concrete vision, because I used to do branding and identity all the time, and I used to hate when people come to me and be like, I need a logo. Okay.
What do you want it to look like?
What do you want it to look like? What does your company stand for? What is this? What is that? What is it supposed to say? And I don't know. I really thought I wanted like a unicorn with gold diamonds.
And you're like, what does a unicorn have to do with the fact that you make cupcakes?
I just like unicorns. I was like,
okay.
The power of this design has been stripped away.
She said, Sancha said, most people don't have a vision.
They don't. Neither does Forrest Whitaker.
Bro. I'm going to tag him and send this directly to him.
You send this to Forrest Whitaker, he'll never see it.
So remember earlier when I said he'd be really quick with it, and sometimes I'd be like, how? Like, what part of your brain did you even think to pull these things from?
My third eye. How many does he have? 2.5?
Save me.
You know a really good movie he was in?
We were blinking in the beginning? In the meninging. She said, oh snap. Nathalie said, oh snap. Sancha said, then they know nothing about design and will try to tell you stuff about it. Like, no, I'm not using Comic Sans or curls for your typeface.
Comic Sans? That's how I know that's disgusting.
Listen.
Because only people who know how disgusting Comic Sans is, you might as well go and get word art.
Nathalie said he's too quick with it for real and then said, pineapples! She needs you to stop, sir.
Yo, listen. It's not my fault.
You woke up like this?
You got both your eyes. You should have seen this coming.
Nathalie said, girls, I'm mad we know all of these. Like, But at least that does go. Oh, so Sancha said she was a graphic design major.
I can tell. Ain't nobody else gonna talk about Comic Sans unless she was a graphic design major.
Right.
Degree in graphic design.
You were really
graphic design major. I can tell.
In Word that you just shouldn't have been using that font.
Comic Sans. I'll tell you what else I hate. Scriptina.
Scriptina.
Y'all better get rid of it if you got it.
I knew you were gonna
I'm
say
slowly
Scriptina.
starting to hate what used to be my favorite script font, which is Sloop Script. I don't like Zapfino. If I see it, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Tell your clients to stay away from it. I'll be like, as soon as we be driving by somewhere and I'll be like,
Where is it? The We Belong Here? Which one is that? That's on Atlantic outside of Barclay?
Yes, and it's in Scriptina.
Scriptina, okay.
I used to love, and each one of these I used to love.
They were pretty.
Papyrus. Horrible fonts. Horrible fonts. Horrible fonts.
And that people insist on
I'm
using.
like, just use regular stuff. Use Georgia as a traditional font, even though it's mainly a display font. Not display, but computer font. I like Trajan. Trajan is my favorite traditional font. I love it. Or my favorite serif font. My favorite sans serif font is ITC Avant-Garde. Mm-hmm. And Avenir.
Avenir is my boo. Y'all know. Y'all see me use Avenir.
I love it.
I like
There's
Montserrat. Is that how you say it?
Montserrat.
I like that one too. So I use Avenir for Taji, and I use the other one.
Do people still use Papyrus?
I hope not.
Do people still make bad flyers?
Valid answer. Valid answer.
Do people?
Sancha said same. I don't know which same, but one of those is she's the same.
Trajan probably. Gotta be Trajan. Trajan is amazing. I love Trajan. Or ITC Avant-Garde. It's probably ITC, now that I think about it. Or Avenir. We said all three of those. It's one of those three. It's one of those. I know it's one of those three. Look, favorite fonts, love them, hands down. I use it on like everything. And yo, the funny thing is, you don't need a ton of fonts.
You don't.
That's the old ass businesses do. Sure as hell do. I just want to keep things the same.
Oh my gosh,
Papyrus looks like fonts. Like if there was an earthquake and they told you to write on paper. Papyrus is a horrible font. There's so many bad fonts, and I don't even know why people would use Comic Sans at all anymore. It's just like an insult. But those are just really, really bad.
Natalie said, low-key want to start sending you bad flyers.
Listen.
You would get this man a heart attack.
You don't understand, like, what we used to go through. Like, I'll never forget, what was the website that was sort of like Groupon? It was like Groupon, but it wasn't Groupon.
Living Social?
Living Social. So, they were trying to get you to do photography. I used to
always call it Living Single. No, Living Social was what on my retouching classes.
Retouching classes.
Yeah.
So when they were doing her retouching class stuff for her, they like where she was offering her class, and they work out some deals so that people get a discount, and then she gets some profit, they get some profit. And the guy started talking to me, and he was like, "So can you offer like flyer design?" And I was like, "Sure." And back then I was like, "It's $100 for one side," and he was like, "Well, okay, so what if we do," and he tried to price it, and I was like, okay, whatever. But then, because I knew it was going to be a bunch of them, but he was like, so let's say you could get it done in like an hour, right? And I was like, so you got to understand, the Virgo in me is very meticulous, and I'm just like, an hour? I got to sit back away from it for a smooth 25, 30 minutes and just look at it.
Make sure
I like it, because I will go through and redesign the whole thing from scratch. And I'm a person who I learned Adobe Illustrator. Like I mastered Adobe Illustrator before Photoshop. So when I got in Photoshop, I started using the pen tool like I was in Illustrator. So I started masking stuff like effortlessly and feathering it, refining the edges, and doing all of that to make sure my masks were like. He was like, an hour? I was like, bro, I don't even have an hour to create the type for this, because I'd be taking my sweet ass time when I'd be doing flyers. Downfall of me. I just be like, no, maybe I can change this. I always doubt it when I'm doing it. Us artists. Own worst enemy. So
Sancha said, I follow this Black business page here for here in NC, and I cringe at the logos. Natalie laughed at old ass businesses.
Yo, wait. I guarantee the logos are always those weird logos that got gradients in them and the colors that are swooping. It's just like very, very odd. It's not like a solid like logo. It's just like a.
I think the worst are like bad picture logos. Sancha said the pen tool is still the bane of my existence. Anyone who can teach me to use it properly is the champ.
Go to my YouTube channel.
It's like a gazillion videos.
Howcast literally approached me back in 2012 to create their entire Adobe Illustrator tutorial series. And when they did that, I then created my own Adobe Illustrator tutorial series. I also ended up on Skillshare, which I'm no longer on like that. Skillfeed, which does not exist. I was on Udemy,
Skillfeed,
which I don't have my classes on anymore, but I stopped teaching my Illustrator classes, but I was like, you needed Illustrator information? You came to me. Like if you go on my YouTube right now, or even if you go on Howcast YouTube, you'll see
youtube.com/@theonewillfocus.
that part.
Give him the views. Don't give
crazy
Howcast
amount of
views.
illustration tutorials.
Howcast got enough views. Give it to the black man.
And hear me out. I got long tutorials and under 10-minute tutorials where I'm like, because I didn't want people waiting too long to figure this stuff out. I was doing it as short as possible.
Natalie said genius. And Sancha said, word? Will do.
No, I'm dead serious.
Big
like,
facts.
you go there, and obviously it's free. I don't even get... I used to be, what do you call it, monetized? I used to be monetized on YouTube. I stopped posting videos so many years ago and so long ago they demonetized me because I didn't have enough watch hours anymore. And I just didn't care. But I was just like, I didn't want to make any more videos on Adobe Illustrator.
Because you're back now. And your photography videos are amazing.
I have the pen tool is my favorite tool. Like, hands down. I was creating all kind of artwork with the pen tool. I got some speed paints up there with the pen tool. You see a lot of them.
Did you use
Gnosis?
No, I was gonna ask about Green Kill Zone.
Green Kill Zone? Oh, I didn't do a speed paint for that, but I have a piece called Green Kill Zone with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's all pen tool.
That is probably to this day one of my top 5 pieces you've ever did.
It was we were doing there's an artist tournament group. It was called the Come With It Artist Tournament. And basically it was a bunch of us who were in like the comic industry dealing with characters, etc. And they would have like a new competition every week. So the second competition we had was a video game poster. And as soon as I did it in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. It took me a day to do it. And if you see it, you'll see the steps because I like to show the steps. Matter of fact, it's on my website.
I'm like, can you pull it up?
I could probably pull it up on my phone and show
Y'all, when I tell you, like, Will shows me his work and all the time I'm like amazed. And I'm like, oh, this is so good, blah, 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 right? When he showed me this piece, I fell in love and I was like, you need to print this. And back then we were also starting to go to like conventions and things too where he was starting to vend his artwork. And I was like, bro, it doesn't matter what the convention is. This piece is going to sell. And it always sold all the time because generally you would have one of those people who's your favorite inside the post.
All right. So it's this. Look, I know y'all can see the ring light. Look at the ring light reflecting. But anyway, so this is the piece, right? All of this is the pen tool.
Pika!
I zoom in on a little parts just so you can see the details. That's Sparkster from Rocket Knight Adventures, Star Fox, you know, from Star Fox Adventures, Zero from Mega Man, and Dr. Eggman or Robotnik, Kintobar, however you want to say it, and our bad boy Sonic, right? All of this is pen tool. Then this was the sketch, just so you can see what it looked like, hand drawn. Then this was the inking of it. This was the flat colors. This was the shading and highlights. And this is the wireframe that Illustrator shows you when you actually hit Control or Command Y on your keyboard. And then the end result. Ding dong. So yeah, like pen tool, that was my thing. I loved me some pen tool. But yeah, if you ever got questions about the pen tool, feel free to ask. I love that tool. Like it taught me how to be very, very patient when creating certain artwork. And back then I used to create artwork for t-shirts all the time in vector art. So it was always pen tool stuff. Like I got a shirt that says Buzzkill and it's Buzz Lightyear laying face flat on the ground with blood coming from his head.
Sancha said, "You nice with it." Nantali said,
Why
"Artists
thank you.
blow my mind. Like you did that with your mind."
Yeah,
I pinned his YouTube so that you guys.
Yay! Thank you. The whole point of that concept, it's called Green, because the first zone you ever play in Sonic the Hedgehog is called Green Hill Zone. I named it Green Kill Zone because the concept was Robotnik approached all these people in the different video game franchises and convinced them that Sonic had did something to either somebody they loved or to them to violate, and now they're all trying to catch them. They're all respectively the fastest or strongest people within their respective franchises. So that's where the concept came from. But obviously they're not going to catch him. And it's over.
Sonic, you gotta go faster, 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 faster. But I thought that like to this day, hands down, is one of my favorite pieces. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I always feel. Matter of fact, we need to put that one up somewhere. But and the colors were so like vibrant, like it always like stuck out to me.
One of my favorite pieces though, and this is actually on YouTube, it's called Akuma Waveform. It's called Evil Intent. It's like two titles, Evil Intent or Akuma Waveform. So Akuma from Street Fighter, what I did was I took a series of straight lines and I gridded them over the paper, and using the pen tool, adding anchor points, I created a waveform that would give the appearance of Akuma's face.
I was like, what? I don't know if it's the same part of his brain where he pulls the witty things out fast, like if it's the same part where the art comes from, but like, that's lines. It's
These are
literally
all
lines.
just individual lines that I adjusted over. So that's what it looks like.
Like perfect. That's the perfect one to show.
But they're all continuous lines. Like they start on that left or right hand side and then they just go over like you see there. Just so you can see what it looks like close up. That's how you know they're just one single line.
Sancha said, "Oh shit." Natalie said, "So rich."
Yeah, so that was the original sketch that I used to make sure I could get the lines to formulate over it properly. And then this is without me doing any width adjustments to the lines. This is what it looks like with the wireframe. And this is with the width adjustments. Bingo, bongo, cinco de mango.
Cinco de mango.
And then, oh wait, did I just, no, where'd you go?
Where did my baby go?
But yeah, there's a piece I did called Gnosis.
Gnosis was like, Natalie said, "How even?" She put the brain explosion.
That's why I was so obsessed with like logo work when I was doing logos, because I got to use the pen tool all the time. And I knew how to do branding work and enlarge and get things to scale just because of it. So Gnosis was like my submission in this art collective I became a part of called Intrinsic Nature. This is all vector work. But this was me mixing like pen tool and mesh. That was a sketch. That's the pen tool outline, flat colors, shade, shading and highlights, wireframe, bingo, and then final. You know?
So very talented, so special.
Things like that. You know, I did not have my power stripped away, so I was able to do, I was able to draw.
I cannot stand you.
Get these pen tool to do the things with the Bezier curves.
Yes, the symbolism. You know it. You know it. So I should say yes.
You know, it be like that sometimes because I can't control rhymes. Anyway, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Your artist
I
TED Talk.
appreciate you being part of my artist TED Talk. Feel free
But
to
yes,
join me next week.
I pinned his YouTube. Everything for this man is the One Will Focus. So wherever you're looking, searching, you're all going to find it there at the One Will Focus.
I'm nothing if not consistent. I made sure all of my branding was the One Will Focus.
Aw, thank you, love. Natalie said the two of us are incredible, just casually brilliant.
But apparently she doesn't think I'm brilliant because she doesn't think I could read that. I couldn't really. But
okay, I was like, don't
fine.
play like you don't generally lean in a little bit. Okay, here we go. Back there again.
Yo, people think when I'm doing this, it's because I'm trying to be like seductive. No.
It's trying to read.
I can't really see that great.
Natalie said, branding. Yo, okay, really quick. So you did.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the designer of. Oh, how convenient of Taji Mag's logo. And for the record, which I don't really know if we ever really talk about this, but these are custom letters. He designed these letters. Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't a font. This is the One Will Focus custom designed a font for Taji Mag.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took it and he put it, I don't know, is this still on the One Will Focus 3? The branding?
Oh, that's on the One Will Focus too.
Or 2. Sorry. That's what I meant. So then he shows it to me on like
a mock-up.
A mock-up of like a clipboard and just.
I'll show you.
I was like, bro, I have the dopest logo ever, and it will never change until the end of time. Okay? Like, so when I tell you branding is so important, like he literally taught me about branding. And then you did Toyome's brand.
The Laya Center.
And laid out like a system for her to follow that she has followed to a T.
Yeah, she's one of the rare people who.
And it's like you can see the consistency in the brand when you follow like your specific colors that you use. Like, yeah, hold on, it's a little
clear.
Okay, there it is. It cleared up. Y'all tell me that's not sexy. Y'all see that gold? Y'all see that black? Like, I saw that and I was like, my letterhead, my everything should look like that. Like, and yes, Natalie, Sansha said designing a typeface is hard. She said respect. I literally sat there and watched him do it. I still didn't understand it.
I've designed several typefaces and I give them so much props because that is not something I want to do for a living.
Period.
Oh,
and Natalie said Afrofuturistic AF. Like, literally, Sansha said rich AF. Thank y'all. Like, y'all, that's why I was sexy AF. But that was like, when I saw it, I was like, it excited me for my brand. And I felt like it was because this happened after volume 5.
No.
Or for volume 5.
It was for
It happened for volume 5. And it was like the literal spark that I needed it was like my personal confidence boost for Taji. It like literally reads everything that I want. And my original logo still had, sorry, I gotta move you a little bit, Shane. My original logo still had, it might be hard to see in his shirt.
She just want to touch me, but it's fine.
I don't need an excuse. You belong to me. So there are little like slashes, kind of like in like a bamboo stick or something like that, that I was like, that was the only thing that it was really important for me to keep in the logo. And he did. And like when he literally designed, like hand custom designed the type font, I was like, I would never in my life would I ever, all the laugh faces are for me touching you because you're mine. When
the 13th Amendment is this? Go on.
I was like, why would I ever want to change that? Like the logo to me, like it speaks Taji and everything that I think it should stand for without me ever having to say it. So, yeah. So sometimes his like mind and brilliance when it comes to this stuff just like really amazes me. But he taught me so much about branding. I can build websites, only my own. Don't ask me to build nobody else's.
You know what? You want to know why that happened? Because Nay was the type of person where she'd be like, wait, what did I say? So when I'm ready for branding, I'm holla at you. I'm about to shoot the BGR. Oh, really?
Oh. BGR Fest, so I can't start another project just
No.
yet.
I read what
I
she
only
wrote.
said that because you didn't finish reading it.
I'm sorry. We were having a personal conversation.
Right.
I didn't even realize we were still on the live. Sorry, Sancha. That's what's up. We shall converse. Like I said, I only, help and work with people design-wise that I'm like, we could. So, yeah.
She said, what? I do.
No, I'm just looking at who you working with. That's, that's kind of hot. So, take that hotness and that fire and bring it over this way. No. But seriously, like, I feel like when it came to me doing things, and they would be like, oh, well, Will knows how to do it. So, hey, babe, can you do X, Y, Z? And I would be like, okay, cool. And then after years of doing that, I was like, no.
It was like months.
I'm going to show you, no, it was years.
I didn't get afforded years.
It was years. And then I was like, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. This is how you do this.
That's how I learned Photoshop.
That's how she learned to lay out and compile and properly design her mag on her own. She didn't require any services. And then she started to streamline everything on her own. She could design websites. She could do all kind of graphic design, anything she any of her branding stuff
websites
is hers.
I can design my branding.
She literally does all of her branding and her shooting.
I can design my flyers and advertisements. Don't ask me to design for nobody else.
She hasn't shot in a while, right? And I was like, oh,
I shot the other day though.
Let me finish. I was like, she's gonna be rusty.
Nah.
She shot the other day, and I was like, what the fuck?
Baby, it's like riding a bike.
I was like, what the?
If anything, that might be one of my favorite shoots as of late.
Can we talk about the fact that
what?
Nay Marie,
Me?
when COVID hit, I had bought a lens. And Nay was like, how much did that lens cost? I was like, only like 300 and something. She was like, I want one. I was like, you want one for your camera? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I showed her where she could get this lens at, right? Nay buys this lens and literally never used it. We're in here and she's always, doing product shoots and whatever. I'm looking at her. I'm like, bro, why you not using your other lens? She was like, what other lens? I said, what do you mean what other lens? The lens that you asked to buy. The 85 millimeter. That's better than this 50 millimeter that you're using. She was like, I have an 85 millimeter lens? I went in the drawer and pulled this lens. This lens is in pristine condition. It had never been touched. Shut up.
It smells like judgment.
Mm-hmm. Strong judgment. Lens had never been touched. And even after I gave it to her, she still was like, oh, I don't really need to use it. But then what happened? She started using it, and her photos took a extreme uptick in quality from that other lens. Other lens was good. That 85 was, thank you, Sancha. Thank you. Exactly. Shame. You gotta say it like you're in Game of Thrones, and she walking through the street, and you got a bell. Shame. While the people throw eggs at her. It was disgusting. And the lens is beautiful.
But I used it.
Oh, she uses it now. You know why? You know why she uses it now? Because she sees its capabilities compared to that other lens.
I mean, I just use it so I don't have to hear you.
It's an 85 millimeter 1.8 Viltrox lens. It's a beautiful lens.
It's pretty crisp.
It is. It's very crisp. Now, when I saw her do that shoot, was that with the 85?
I did the shoot with Fumi with the 85, and I just shot the earrings with the 85.
And you can tell they're amazing.
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. When I zoomed in close on the earrings, I was like, oof. Details. Baby, it's about them details. But yeah, so he was right. Not eggs in this economy.
I know, right? That's $23 worth of eggs. Yo, but low key, like, she be sleeping on her skills and limiting herself. You know what Nate reminds me of? If any of y'all have ever watched Dragon Ball, or any anime for that matter, there's always a character who's literally fighting or training with weighted clothes on. And
about Goku?
you never know how Goku does it. Piccolo does it. Rock Lee did it. Like all of these
I'll be Rock Lee.
people
I like
have.
Rock Lee.
Wait, Rock Lee had these weights on his legs, and when he took them off, and that's what I feel like she did when she finally put the 85mm on her camera. Can you imagine walking around and taking photos through a viewfinder made of cardboard and a lens of paper mache? Because that is essentially what she was using.
First off, don't come for my baby, okay? My 50 was beautiful. It did what it was supposed to do.
You see how she said
it was
everything with
supposed to
past
do.
tense? Because she knew its life was over long ago. And yet she still kept using it. She has loyalty. I'll give her that. That's how I know she'll never leave me.
Sancha said, ooh, camera talk, so sexy. Natalie said, yo, I was in a meeting and pulled up my phone and the lady made me stop to send her your earring post. Oh, thank you. She said the pics are fire.
Yep, 85mm 1.8 pics. That's what those are. Beautiful.
I'm excited. They release tomorrow. I always have like a mild nervousness.
Sancha, you okay?
What?
Sancha,
She said she has zero
Sancha,
anime knowledge. We're gonna change that.
No. Listen, I'm gonna tell you to just YouTube one thing, right? To understand what I'm talking about, how Nay was holding herself back. Rock, just like the stone. Rock Lee, like Bruce Lee. Rock Lee versus just VS. So Rock Lee versus, and you're gonna put in Gaara, Gaara, right? So Rock Lee versus Gaara. Just watch it.
Whatever.
Watch it to the point where he tells Rock Lee to do it, where Guy says, do it. And he's like, really? And then he hops up on this tall statue. And I just want you to watch what everybody else is looking at and what happens, and then you'll understand. Okay? Just know that the dude that Rock Lee is fighting is seriously dangerous. Just don't know it. So Rock Lee
paper
versus
mache.
Gaara. Yes, absolute paper mache camera. She was using a little toy camera with that lens on it. But it's okay, you know. We make do with what we got, even though she had the other lens. First off, Nate has several lenses.
No, now I only have two.
If you
I
were
think
to
I only have two E-mount lenses.
So Nay's problem is, yay, she wrote it down. You're gonna enjoy watching it. It's not gonna be long. It might be a couple of minutes because you know they always shorten clips now, so it'll only be a couple of minutes. But you'll see what it is within like the first 20 seconds of the video. So it's not gonna take long. But Nay has a habit of destroying electronics that she touches, even the ones that she takes from me and repurposes for herself. Right now, we're streaming on my phone clip. Because Nay refuses to give it back.
Because his is sexy. It's all like nice and smooth.
My
other phone clip be trying to chop my fingers off.
My phone clip is a part of my gimbal. I have a DJI Ronin SC. Legit, I was trying to put a phone up on one of her phone clips and it broke. She has like 80 of them.
And they're all the same type.
And so she saw, I was like, here, use this one in the meantime. And she saw what it did and she was like, I like this. And I was like, well, you can use it for now. I tried to take it back the other day to put it in my case. She was like, no, it's mine. I was like, yeah, all right. She did the same thing with my old computer. That died. It was yours until it died. Nay will use something to death. She will. Phone.
But at least it's like, you know.
You see, I'm headed there. Look at all these grades. She's definitely using me to death, y'all.
Natalie said it's because she's secretly a wizard. Technology fears wizards.
She is a wizard. There ain't no secret about it. Nay over here just damaging the ecosystem. I wonder what's your what is it? Your footprint?
Carbon footprint.
Mm-hmm. What's your carbon footprint?
Sancha said, "What's ours is ours, and what's yours is ours."
See, I don't like that modern woman.
That sounds like don't you even start in this podcast.
See, with the red pill.
The red pill next to the blue pill. Somebody said, why don't we just make a purple pill?
This sounds like Sigma male talk. Beta male. Only alphas in this room. No, but low key.
Sigma male talk.
Low key though, like she will confiscate something in a hot minute.
If it's pretty, I want it. That's
why I have no problem eating her food.
No, don't eat my food.
Her drinks.
You do be drinking my apple
She be
juice,
sleep,
bro.
and I be in the fridge like.
You be sneaking my apple juice?
You think it disappear on its own?
I be thinking I drink it because I drink a lot.
And that is why it works. Because you'll never know.
Joshua! You're... He said you. It's a lot of O's. Shout out to the one and only Ethiopian. Funny, I feel like I conjured you because earlier you said if I could sing, and I didn't say it out loud.
I would sing a song
for the black woman. So that's what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, Joshua.
He's another amazing individual. He's out here. He listen. His name has special meaning. I feel like y'all should hit him up on his inbox and just have a conversation with him. I don't even know if he wants to be a people person right now.
Right, I was like, you're just going to send people to
volunteer him as if this is OnlyFans. I want y'all to OnlyFans your way right into the Ethiopian's inbox.
I can't.
And see what he's slanging.
I can't.
It's knowledge, in case you were wondering. Knowledge. Uh-huh.
I don't know about sliding into a Libra's DMs. I don't know about that.
He's one of the rare people who made a smart move and went and got some sunshine in his life.
Bro, I feel like...
Do y'all know how it felt for us to get bombarded with snow the other day? It hadn't snowed like... And when it did snow, it was like super light. It snowed. Like stupid snowed the other day. Granted, it's gone now.
But that's besides the point.
But who wants to... We were in here and one of our friends was like, did it snow? And I was like, snow? And he was like, it was supposed to snow such and such and such. And I looked out, I was like, nah. I looked out the window because I'm looking out our balcony, right? And I was like, it snowed.
I was so mad. He said, do they have OnlyFans for knowledge? I mean, technically, you could create an OnlyFans page for knowledgeable information. OnlyFans isn't just for what we have popularized it for as a society. So you could actually use it for
technically that. OnlyFans, I believe, didn't it start originally as like an art site?
Yeah, it was for like just people to share content. But you could also use Patreon for that too.
After the days of Tumblr subsided and people weren't able to do as much as they wanted to on Twitter. OnlyFans said. Yo, and the dumb thing about it, and this is, OnlyFans was trying to cut off its biggest
which wouldn't have made
supporter.
Sense.
They were like, oh, we don't want this explicit content anymore. I was like, you sure?
And I felt like they were probably doing that like for ads and things. But I'm like, if you're making, we know that sex is $1 billion industry, $1 trillion industry. So if you're making the money and if they don't care, then they're going to go somewhere to do it regardless. So.
Look, as long as I don't go on OnlyFans and see a bunch of IKEA closets.
Stop?
No, Safeway.
Yes,
Safeway.
Please stop. Because
Safeway closets.
Them people who had them babies.
$10,000 closet.
I'm still angry.
No, thank you.
I'm still angry.
Why is this a thing? Why? I don't understand what happened.
Like the ways that these people are sneaky. Okay, I don't even want to dive into that because this is going to make me angry. And we've had a very happy podcast. But yes, so those are the things that the places you can go. But yes, all of y'all check out each other. Ethiopian, I am Sancha.
Sancha said what?
Black Girl PR. Mm-hmm. Y'all go check each other out. Y'all are all
go check out the
artists.
Wayfair.
Do not check out the Wayfair.
That's what it was. I said Safeway. Safeway is a grocery store. Right?
Whatever. It don't matter.
Wayfair closets.
They piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait for those people to get their just due.
Looking to get you a child on the cheap? Get a Wayfair closet. They were, if y'all don't know, they were trafficking kids through Wayfair by selling them as furniture. And
so
it was
you would go on there thinking that that's what you were there for.
Like, I mean, the people who went on there knew, like, obviously, regular person, they're going to be like, oh, that's just a mistake. But yeah, it was
or it was a price that they would never pay. So
she said,
we just bought a damn table from there.
Are you sure? Is it being shipped?
But here's the thing.
Or are you picking this up?
The price was a price that most normal people would never pay for that item.
Like, okay, so let's say you bought your table, right? And your table was, let's say it's $1,000. Let's say your table is $2,000. These tables would be like 20 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'd be like, why is this on here? This clearly has to be a price mistake. No. It was a mistake for you, which is why it's priced like that, so you wouldn't get it.
Yes. So now that we've looped y'all in, we're going to loop back out. But
how do you think they got found out? You think somebody accidentally bought one and it got delivered a child?
No, I feel like they yes, exactly. I feel like somebody found out about it like the legit way
on the black web, the dark web.
Yeah, and somebody else was like, "Nah, we're not doing this. Like, leave the babies, protect the babies, leave the babies, protect the babies, leave the babies, protect the babies, leave the babies."
That part. But anyway, I don't want to bore you with this dull almanac worth of information because I can go on forever. And you know, y'all got places to be. I got places to be.
I just want to go make some trumpets because you talked about them earlier, and now I'm hungry.
Nobody heard that, but I'll take it. If you watch this back, just listen to what I said.
What time is it? So I know where to scroll to.
This world is wild. I want my own planet. So does the captain.
Not so does the captain. I'm Captain. No.
Captain
Planet. He's a hero.
Gonna take pollution down to zero.
See, that's all I got.
He's our powers magnified, and he's fighting on the planet side.
That's all I got.
That's what we should do. We should do, at some point, we should do music trivia.
Ooh, would you guys join us for music trivia?
Cartoons
let me know.
that.
Would y'all join us for music trivia? Because that sounds fun.
They're the world's most fearsome fighting team.
Fun.
They're heroes in a half shell, and they're
green.
Thank you.
My brain said mean though, so I had
when the evil shredder attacks, them turtle boys don't cut on no slack.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sasha said she said.
Ninja Turtle. Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
She said green. Cartoon karaoke. I love that. Yes, you always with the words, man. Always with the words.
Machines.
Oh, Joshua said yes too.
Raphael is cool, but rude. Give me a break. Michelangelo is a partying dude.
Not the ad-libs.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was a Saturday morning cartoon kid. Like, I knew gummy bears bouncing here and there and there. I know y'all are looking at me like, you gotta be old as fuck singing the gummy bears song. Oh, man.
Good times. Oh, thank y'all for joining.
I was a Punky Brewster kid.
I'm glad we stayed on for a little bit longer. This was fun.
Yeah, but guess what's going to happen in a short period of time? She's going to get hangry.
Yeah.
And guess who has to deal with it?
We don't have to guess.
Me and my upside down waterbug fingers.
No, stop it. That's disgusting. My cheeks hurt. From
Cartoon karaoke. I like that name.
That's what I said. She's always good. You two are good with the names and the words, yo. Like, when I can't think of stuff, I'll be like, what would Natalie or Will
Last
say?
tidbit. You want to hear the funniest thing? We were doing a show way back in like 2007. Oh, really? Oh, wait. We right here.
Sancha said, I just turned 43. That's my jam.
Nancy
said, gummy bears. Oh, that's my shit. And Nancy said, gummy bears was my jam.
Look, see, I'm with my tribe.
That's the joint, though. Sancha said, I just got back from dinner before joining your live.
My tribe. Yeah, so she's not hangry, but
she said, hopefully I have a delicious meal.
I didn't know y'all was going to be rocking with me with those songs.
I did.
Anyway, let's see who knows what that is. I'm pretty sure y'all do, but anyway. Yeah, like I've just always been a cartoon fan. So if you guys want to join me on this fantastic journey, if you want to come along and ride on a fantasy ride. So, listen, we got it going up full mountain high. You know, I'm here for it.
Sancha said I was singing along, ad-libs and all.
Listen, join me. Thundercats, exactly.
And that's what he said. This live keeps getting better.
It's the harmony. I'm telling you. You know.
She got it. She got it. She got it. Okay, that would be good. That would be fun. You're going to list out some cartoons and you're going to sing them because I don't remember all the... First off, y'all don't want me to sing it, period. That's number one. But number two...
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She is the one name. I'll let y'all finish that. Anyway.
I was. And Joshua said, you official with it. No, he's also good at voices and impressions. He doesn't do it that often, but that's clearly why that accent was good early in Natalie. But yeah. So that we're gonna write down some of your favorite shows so that you can sing them.
I was inspired by watching Police Academy when I was a young child. And there was a particular black man who was on there who used to make sound effects with his voice. And
he was a fave.
You know, if you've never watched Police Academy, go watch the movie. But I feel like we're all old enough, we may have seen a glimpse of it. You know, except for Officer Tackleberry, who was the epitome of gun violence in America, but we're not going to talk about it.
He said, I see that now. Sancho said, yes. Cut it out.
If y'all ready for my album to come out, I got y'all.
Your photography album?
You see the disrespect?
Support. I'm supporting your photography. It's also YouTube.
Let's have a conversation about the modern woman.
It's tagged at the bottom for your photography. See? You see what I did there?
You know,
Circle.
I should have been in
She said nope.
Script Club when Ethiopian was doing Script Club. I could have been up there performing.
You got bars?
Singing your best Saturday morning cartoons.
What bars you got?
G.I. Joe.
Hasty Blues.
I could have been doing anything.
Sancho said logging off now.
Listen,
Natalie said drop it.
And when I drop it, you better be ready for a Chris Brown level of track list that's going to be on there.
You doing 45 in one album?
45 songs, all one continuation in my Janelle Monáe artistry.
No.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be one continuous thing.
I did used to love that about her albums.
Yeah,
there was like one long album. It was so beautiful. And she said, I know the skits are going to be crazy.
I do plan on still filming my show.
It's a good concept.
Yeah, I talked about it before. They were like, you better write it down and do X, Y, Z, and so nobody will steal it. And I did it, so I kind of got some protection on it.
Yes.
But it's called Angry Black Man.
Yes, and it's good. It's good.
But anyway, all right, guys. I feel like we've taken up too much of your time.
Trumpet
Thank you for joining us. You've got to see many things on this live. You saw Nate caressing my chest for the start of our OnlyFans. I don't know why she was touching me like that,
yes,
but it's fine. Oh, so
it's Taji Mag.
She's still doing it. She's popping the pecs.
Oh, Sancho said, let's discuss Janelle Monáe's albums too.
Listen, I put her on in Janelle Monáe.
He did. And
nobody knew who she was.
And then it was like, I took her from him. I was like, she's mine.
Let me tell you how early we got put on to Janelle Monáe. We went to her concert at
$7 tickets.
Bowery Ballroom, maybe?
Yes.
Tickets were $7.
$7 tickets.
This is when she did her first Metropolis Chase the Sweet album. Mm-hmm. This is after her Letting Go album. And it was like her first concert, I think, in New York. She was a headliner, obviously. But there were maybe...
I think she had 2 other acts.
There were 2 acts before her.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all ever seen, it looked like Scott Pilgrim Takes Over the World when they had that first concert. That's what it looked like in there. She jumped in the audience. Mm-hmm. She was dancing with us. That's when I realized she was like this big.
Yes.
We got her guitar pick from the guitarist. We got a signed thing from her. I took a picture with her.
So did I.
I have no idea where this picture is. No idea. I love me some Janelle Monáe. She was cool as hell. Mm-hmm. She cracked a joke. I forgot what the joke was. She cracked at the table. She said it, and none of her team responded. She was like, "Oh no, just me,
nobody."
And I started dying. But anyway,
but yeah, those were good times. Those were good memories.
The next time we saw her in concert, it was a public concert. It was out in Brooklyn, and there was literally no standing room.
Like we literally, what was it? Prospect Park. Mm-hmm. We had to go up on like whatever the highway gated
and we were looking down over to her. Yes. She looked like this big. I was like, well, glad we went to that first concert. And she surprised me with the tickets to the first concert.
Oh, I did?
Mm-hmm. That's how
that's nice
that's
of
how
me.
we went. Mm-hmm.
Good job, Nay.
And then, you know, she left Crunch.
Listen, Letting Go.
And Letting Go was the song that she heard at that time.
Not Redemption. I'm hungry. I ain't got words no more.
She was
but
like,
it was my theme music at the time.
Cause with no 9 to 5, it's a brand new day. But I'm a party anyway. I feel so alive. Stress is fading away. It's time I live my own life. Cause I'ma let it go. No more stress on my mind.
Okay, every time we're like, okay, bye, and then we talk about something else. She said she only saw her once for the EFES tour. I don't know what the EFES tour but that's cool. And Nancy said that's crazy. Benefits of being a muso. Mm-hmm. She said we get these intimate moments and watch talented artists rise. Yo, that's for real. I love that. I love going to artist shows like in the beginning.
Like we got to see Iniko.
Yes.
I put her on Iniko too.
Bro, her live.
This was before she blew up. I'm sorry, they. I apologize. That's before they blew up.
And I think I said her too, but anyway, they.
But yeah, I put her on Iniko too.
Like we went to that their Instagram page doesn't do them justice for the vocal. My God.
Let me tell you why I'm extra mad. All right, I promise this is the last thing. I'm going to tell you why I'm extra mad. So, before they blew up, right, the way I found them was on TikTok. I was on TikTok. It was like super late. This is how I find most people. And I was scrolling by and I heard somebody's voice. And I was like, bro, who is this? And I just couldn't stop watching them. Over and over and over. I was going through every video. And then they were live. And I was like, ooh, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. I was like, I got to let Nay know. So I tagged Nay, let Nay know about it. Nay saw it and was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, fire, right? So eventually what happened was artist friend of mine knew Iniko. I didn't know that they knew them. And was like, hey, did you want to come with me to their birthday thing? And I was just like, I didn't know like if I should go or if I shouldn't, because I didn't know them. So I was like, oh, I got some work to do. I did want to go though. But after that, they created the King's anthem. Was it the King's?
Affirmation.
King's Affirmation. And the I will be one of the greatest. That. And it took off. Like, they were already getting buzz, but that, like, skyrocketed them. And then this one surprised me with tickets to their show.
I think tickets surprising, don't I?
we went to SOBs, and I was like, and they was like, you really don't know why we're here? And I was like, no. And so they goes, well, I'm thinking the way they're dressed is going to give it away. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I was like, they look like, and I looked around and I was like, these look like your tribe of people or something.
They did.
And she was like, she started laughing. We get up front, we get inside. I still don't know who it is. No idea. Then I forgot what it was. Something triggered it. And
I think it said it on the
No. It didn't say anything.
Oh.
I think somebody might have said it, and I was like,
oh, the lady behind us was yelling, "Bring out Anika!"
And I was like, word? And I was like, okay, you got it. And it was amazing.
Yes. Oh, Nancy said that audio was fire. Yes, it's still one of my faves. Sancha said, she said it was her, talking about Janelle Monáe, it was her Wonderland artists, Deep Cotton, Roman, and Saint Beauty.
Listen,
wow.
I love people who have a creative outlook that's a little bit different in how they approach. I also love like FKA Twigs. I'm a fan of FKA Twigs. I don't know about y'all, but if y'all rock with her, check out her stuff. Her artistry behind her videos, wild. And shout out to Iniko because they created their first music video for the King's Affirmation ever. Yeah. And I was proud of that. Granted, that had nothing to do with me, but it's still the fact that
and they were very intentional with the video.
It was dope.
But that was even like Chloe and Halle before they became like big, huge, and even kind of went separate. It was like their voices are really magical in the things that they're capable of doing. So
absolutely, there's a bunch of artists that are like that. Again, I said I was gonna stop, so I'm gonna shut up. All right, blame it on Nay if anything goes further. I'm gonna let her do the outro because otherwise I'll keep talking.
Okay, so thank y'all because y'all stayed for like 17.
You'll stay for a smooth extra hour.
It's 10.
It is 11:05.
Y'all stayed for 17 versions of okay. Well, we're gonna do this next week. Okay, thank y'all for blah 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 blah. Okay, thank y'all.
Wasn't my accent?
Sancha, first Natalie said, definitely want to do a music festival with you guys. I know your picks would be fire. Yes. And Sancha said, we love y'all, but go feed Nay, please. But so we do this every Thursday. It's kind of a different feel, depending on what we're talking about, but same energy, depending on the conversation. So we'll figure out what next Thursday's conversation is going to be like. Thank y'all so much for staying for the 17 endings to this podcast and for being there.
It's about to be the longest podcast.
Through most of the first half that was supposed to be just the
yes.
original part of the podcast. We love y'all. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the engagement. We appreciate y'all. Aw, I love him too. He is the one we'll focus everywhere.
I am the Nay Marie.
No. I am Nay Marie of Adorned and Taji
and
everywhere.
Taji Mag.
And Taji Mag everywhere. Shout out to Taji Mag. March 7th is volume 34, which is our men issue. And tomorrow on 3/3, well, every Friday this month, I'll be releasing new products. So starting with tomorrow, we are doing earrings, and then next Friday, products from the menswear line, and so on and so forth.
And who knows? Maybe we'll have a Creed 3 discussion tomorrow.
Oh, that would be fire. Y'all gonna have to go see the movie though, cause night. I love you. You weirdo.